it, I've done probably one of the hardest bodybuilding preps. I want to step on stage knowing that I have a chance and that I am confident in basically winning the whole thing. Yes, people, welcome back to the YouTube channel. So today we are in Nitro for a push session, push and a bit of arms. So yeah, chest, shoulders, biceps, triceps, starting on a side raise, just to warm up the shoulder joints. Then we'll get into some heavy pressing, well, heavy relative to me. But throughout this workout, we have Jack behind the camera, helping me out film this today. So I'm gonna go through the workout, and then at the end or throughout, we'll go through a couple other talky bits basically. And as going into my off season fully into a bulk for the next sort of 16 to 20 weeks, I'm gonna highlight sort of what's happened this first week and what essentially my future plans are for the off season. So we'll get into this workout and hope you enjoy. So the reason we're starting on a side raise is to basically warm up the shoulders, ready for a pressing movement. Otherwise, I will literally just tear the shit off the bone, and that's not good. So you'll also see that I do single arm, only because I feel a better contraction and I can focus on one side at a time. So that's why if you see me doing any side raise variation, it will be single arm and not both, unless it's dumbbells. Then it will be both. But yeah, starting on this and then gonna move on to a flat press. So we have warmed up on the Panatta seated press. So I've never actually used this properly or had it in my sort of workout rotation. So being in Nitro, thought might as well just give it a go. So we've got 3 plates. So yeah, see how it goes. So finished up on the chest press. So typically on any sort of heavy compound movement, it would be a top set, so a heavy set of around 6 to 10 reps, and then a back off set between 8 and 12 reps, or 10 to 15, depending on what it is. But funnily enough, for this shoulder press, 3 sets instead of 2. So as I said, any compounds typically 9 times out of 10 would be a back off after a top set, and then any sort of isolation again typically would be 3 sets of a higher rep range. So after chest press, we are now moving on to a shoulder press. Never actually used this one before. Again, another new bit of equipment in this gym. I think it's in pounds because it's definitely not 200 kilos. So got 205 on the machine. Let's give it a go. Moving on to arms, you would have seen the push down was only 2 sets, only because it's sort of heavier movement. Whereas now going into curls and some extensions for triceps, going into a bit more higher reps, only because it draws more blood flow to the area, a metabolic stress onto the muscles, and you can also stimulate and build muscle without lifting stupid amount of weight. So I'm only doing 40 kilos on this bicep curl for I think about 20 to 30 reps. And yes, the first half is going to be pretty easy, but over time, like I said, that metabolic stress in that muscle, that pump and blood flow to the area as well is going to build up, and lactic acid is also going to build up. And that is all in all going to stimulate essentially muscle growth. So you don't always have to lift stupid and silly amount of weight, going really heavy and risking injury just to cause some sort of stimulus. Last year, I'd done probably one of the hardest bodybuilding preps. It was pretty tough. The diet was pretty strenuous. Just over 1,000 calories a day, some days, and 2 hours of cardio really did affect me. Coming out of that prep, I've pretty much got prep PTSD because I'm a bit scared pretty much to step on stage again. I'm taking the leap in taking a full year to 2 years as a full off season, and then stepping on stage, hopefully end of 2027 or 2028. I want to step on stage knowing that I have a chance and that I am confident in basically winning the whole thing, and eventually having a pro card status. So that is what my goal is long term for bodybuilding. So yeah, just started my bulk after a 12-week health phase. So it's only going to get better from here. We're going to be running a 4 to 5 month push-up phase, see how we're looking, maybe cut back and push back up, but who knows, that's going to be in sort of June, July time. So yeah, stay tuned to see what happens basically throughout that bulking process. But like I said, I'm literally on my 3rd day of the bulk. Food is up to 4,300 calories a day on a training day and 3.5K on a rest day. Cardio is still in, and yeah, things are going well. Also, one thing to touch on is previously in my other YouTube videos and on Instagram as well, you might have seen I have been sponsored now by a company called Perform. It's just a small company, you might not have heard of them before, but any supplements that I do use, whether it's protein, EAAs, electrolytes, anything within that nature, then click the link in the description and save yourself 25% off at Perform, or use my code NEO25 and save yourself 25% off. But other than that, that is a little life update in terms of prep, off-season training, and sponsorships. Applications are always welcome as well. Brandon Hardin, if you're watching this, I'm after a hard body sponsorship. And Ben Francis, if you're listening, a Gymshark one would be all right as well. But other than that, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you in the next one.